What's up? Yeah, Chris Reeves knives. So this is a large Inkosi, plain blade, drop point, S30, S45 VN. And, I reference this knife so much because the blade shape, the handles are so copied that I end up going, yeah, this is kind of Sabenjas or whatever. So you know what? It's only right that we actually put one on the channel, right? So yeah, it's got all the birth certificate, born on date stuff going on here, and nice schematics. They do a great schematics here. Show you the pieces and parts in there, and where they go. Comes with what, oil and grease, I believe. Well, and Loctite to lock down the screws, and then the wrenches. Yeah, pretty cool. Nice box. Huge cleaning cloth. Yeah, it's a good one. It's so nice that, I don't know, can you use it? Right? And then, of course, ta-da, the Inkosi. Yeah, and if you've never handled one of these blasted versions, the titanium is blasted with a texture that the best way to describe it is it's like emery board, like for a nail file. It is just the roughest surface, man. And of course, that means I love it, right? The pocket clip, the scales, everything has it. Yeah, let's see this blade. Yeah, a little stiff on the action, but yeah, look at this beauty. Come on, man. Gorgeous, right? Very smooth on the action, but it's not, I don't think it's flickable. Yeah. So we'll see if we can fix that. Which some might say is sacrilege. It's like, yeah, very smooth though. All right, well, let's get rid of this stuff here. Because, of course, we got to get up in there. Let's see what makes this thing tick, man. Yeah, that finish on them scales, golly, it's a way to do it. Nice jimping. Mm-hmm. It does have a good slow roll. Nice, very hydraulic, smooth. But that's a little underwhelming, in my opinion. Now, I'm sure a purist would say, well, if you just give the knife a chance, it'll work in on those washers. Well, that's probably true to some extent. But I don't mind trying to make it work either. So let's see if we can get up in here. I think that's a T10. I'm not sure. I'm gonna check. That is not a T10. Let's go bigger. what do I have right here? Nothing. No help in that location. Let's go here. Too big. And too big. There we go. Well, what was the magic number? So 15. T15. And then what do we got here on these? T8s. Okay. Well, let's get it apart. So we're backwards from what I would want. The screw, I don't know what, let's see. I feel like the screw stayed behind and the whole pivot's coming out the back of the knife. Hopefully we can change that. A little Loctite on that screw. Big hardware. These feel like they got smaller. No. Well, they are smaller. It's definitely smaller than the stop pin. Yep, this one as well. But that one's a different size also. So 3 different sizes going on here. All right, well, let's see if we can come it apart. The hollow pivot. Well, let's get a pry bar. I'm gonna pull this screw. just everything's milled really tightly on lockdown. Yeah, so it's got a fair amount of that white grease up in here. There's stop pin. And the way that they do this detent ball on this new model is it sticks out the front of that lock, and that is the part that makes contact with the back of the blade now. Yep, so it sticks out on that side and this side, so it rides on the blade and creates the detent, but it also is what locks up against the back surface of the blade. Pretty cool. Well, we're gonna get away from this grease. I'm sure they know what they're doing, but I can't help myself. And I can't tell if that's on lockdown somehow. Nope, it was just kind of tight in there. And so I believe I can flip-flop this. Nah, I can't. It's only going to go from the other side. But I don't think it was on lockdown. I think that I could have took that screw out from the other side. Yeah, it's just got some, I believe, Loctite in there. Let me, I'm going to pick at it. Yeah, it'll go in from the other side. Like so. And so now I can build down on top of the scale. Awesome. All right, well, so I need to try to get this piece out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the screw in it. Let's get this pocket clip out as well. It is super tight in that hole also. Oh, man. Pocket clip launch. Not pocket clip check. I launched it, man. That's all right. I think I know where it landed. All right, so the purpose of doing that is these are going to go into the tumbler for a little bit. I'm going to knock these down just a little bit because, you know, one of the services that they offer is they put a softer finish on these scales. And so I am going to try to do that at home. I'm going to run these in my tumbler. I'm going to run them for a couple hours, and then I'm going to check them. And then I'm going to run them and check them. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to make them just smooth titanium. I just want to refine them a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. So when we come back, actually I'm going to come right back and we'll clean everything up and we'll put it in a staging pattern and wait for the tumbling to complete. But yeah, let's go do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are tumbling and I am testing specifically on this knife a little rougher compound, a new rougher grit compound. And so at the end, maybe we'll kind of go over that, kind of talk about that media. We can maybe talk about the tumbler as well, which I've covered it before, but I know I get asked questions about stuff because you can't watch every one of these videos, right? It's impossible. So all we're going to do is we'll clean this stuff up and then we'll take a break and wait for things to tumble. And then we'll get down to reassembly. So I'm tumbling the 2 scales and the pocket clip. With this rougher media, I would also be tempted to do this hardware because it's shiny. But we'll see about that. So these have these great big bronze washers now. And I don't know how recently they came out with these, but they used to be like a standard bearing. So I'm sure they put some time and effort into researching this bearing out. And I'm sure there's a lot of benefit to having the holes cut out to hold the grease, because you know they are greasers. But I am not going to maintain that policy. I'm going to change up and put some fine oil on them. So I'm going to go ahead and polish these. Yeah, there's no burr on either side of this washer. It's very smooth, which, you know, I guess it's what I would expect from Chris Reeves knife, right? I would expect it to be a refined piece. Like, what's the point of going through all this trouble on this piece with tolerances and being exacting and then like dropping the ball on the last stage and making the actual washers not very good. just some stamped piece or whatever. Yeah, that one felt good. Both sides. There's no burr on this one either. Yeah, there's no sharp edges. You know, this is, you know, it's a quality piece. Yeah, it's very smooth now. I'm half tempted to go one more step with this versus the 6,000 grit. Tempted to go to the 12,000 grit. I'm going to just check one. Let's go 12,000 grit and just see if it kicks it up a notch. A little bit. Yeah. Not a lot, but a little bit. All right. Very, very nice. And I'm pretty sure if I lay this against here, yeah. I mean, I've got high hopes, man. High hopes high in the pie sky hopes. Yep. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to let this occupy the bench until the tumbling finishes, and then we will come back here. Yeah, look how slippery those are, even against each other. We'll come back here and we'll reassemble, and we'll take a look at how that tumbling media did, and I will reveal it and with a link and a source to that media, which if you want to check down below now, in the description, there's different links to products on Amazon and some other places. Well, that new media would be at the top of the Amazon links because I don't go put them alphabetical. They're just chronological. So the last one that I enter, it'll be at the top. So that new media will be at the top there. Unless I hate it. If I hate it, then it won't be there right now. Later in the video, when I reveal, I'll go, yeah, I hate that media. We'll see, man. But right now, I don't know. But we'll be back on this video here shortly. Okay, so let's take a look at some of this tumbling real quick. The old media that I used was this really small ceramic. And you can find it, there's a link down below the video. And it does a great job. It creates a super nice satin, kind of tumbled finish. On blades, it almost represents like a pearl essence type finish. But I decided to get a heavier grit media, and so I'm going to show you it here in a second. I got to get this out of my strainer. Okay, so I dumped that media into that bag. This is the new media that I just used, and I mentioned if I didn't like it, I wouldn't put a link. Well, I'm going to put a link because I checked my Inkosi scales after about an hour of tumbling. And I am so glad I did because the finish I have is perfect now. And I can't say enough about this tumbler as well. There's a link down below, but it is the Frankfurt Arsenal. There it is, Frankfurt Arsenal, and it's so simple. I mean, this thing just works wonderfully, and super easy, and you just put it on there and forget about it, and it does its own thing. And I did come up with this strainer here that works well. I pull the media out, and then I can strain it, and then I just come in here and I flip it a couple of times, every couple of days, and it dries. And so I don't have to worry about it smelling bad or doing any of that. But it's little triangles of ceramic. Yeah. And so I've rinsed it. Now, is Mrs. DM happy that I have all this in our spare bathroom taken up? No, not really. But I don't know. I do a lot of things to get in trouble. But are you ready? Here's the finish that came out after about an hour. It's got a wonderful stonewash on it. We'll take it to the bench and look at it some more. But that stonewash finish and the texture of it is just wonderful. Yep. And so, I don't know. Is it as nice as what they're charging you for that finish? I'll find out what it's called. When we come back, I'll tell you what that's called. But it's got a wonderful stonewash finish on here now on these scales. And I couldn't be happier with it. Yep. Beautiful. Old school. All right. Well, let's get back to the bench. But that's that new media. And I'll put a link down below. And I dig it. It's got a rougher grit to it. I'm trying to think if they called it 60 or 80 grit. I don't know. But it worked wonderful, and I got it at Amazon. And this is the only amount I got. I didn't get a bunch. Like, I got a bunch of the other. I have a little bit of this, but it worked fine. I added a little bit of water to the tumbler, put this in, threw the scales in, and the pocket clip. Did a great job on the pocket clip as well. It's got this wonderful old, I don't know, bead blasted finish, tumbled finish on it. Turned out great. But anyways, let's get back to the bench. Okay, well, let's get this thing back together and see if we can't make it run and run and run and run. Yeah, I mean, this finish, woo, under the lights, man, it turned out so nice. I dig it. I dig it, I dig it, I dig it. Nice stonewash finish. Beautiful. Wonderful texture on it. Nice. All right, well, here we go. Let's do our deal. I think I'm going to get that pivot in there first. And I think I need a little help. And is this a long video? I don't know. I don't keep track. Time. I'm not into time, man. There we go. There it is. Tried to get away. All right. I think these are exactly the same. Yep. And of course, there's no reason to polish up the scale here because the washer itself is captured anyways. So there's no reason to do that. I am going in with light oil. I'm not going to use the grease. We're going to find out if can we get away with light oil versus the grease. Right? I mean, surely they know better than me. So I'm probably going to have to take it back apart and put some grease on it. But, I'm not from Missouri, but show me. I mean, feels pretty slick to me. And the more tension I put on it, the slicker it gets, which is what I would expect from a bronze washer like that. hold on. Let's get a little lubrication under there. I want to put a little bit where that ball is going to run as well. I think we're good. That's a lot of lubrication. Let's stir it around. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Next. This right here. Money. Money, dude. This was the big screw here. I think I'll put that in. Actually, I think I got to put the pivot in. Because that's the bit that I got out. Okay. Let's change the bit. We'll get these other screws in, and then we'll work on making sure we're tuned properly. Okay. I think these two were the same. Yeah. Hold on. This was the pocket clip one. Let's leave that for a minute. Go ahead. We're going to get some back pressure here. Put these two back ones in. Check everything. All right, we're going to snug these back ones up. Did you notice the difference already? Did you see it? Yeah, buddy. It's not dropped shut. There's a lot of tension here, and I will say there's absolutely no wiggle in this blade. None. Yeah. I can thumb flick that all day long very satisfactorily. Let's try. I don't have a pocket clip on. Let's try the Spidey flick. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the pocket clip on for that. It does beg the question of am I too tight? Oh man, is that thing running though? Very nice. Very nice. Nice. I'm gonna check how tight it is because there's not an ounce of wiggle in that dude right now, and so yeah, it's not over tight for sure. But there's absolutely no wiggle in it. Yeah, which is part of the design, man. Like they figured out how to put all that together and make a rock solid knife, and this one qualifies. Yep, let's get the pocket clip on. I'm not going to be changing up anything. Yeah, it's wonderful. All right, well, let's get rid of all this stuff here. So, um, the finish on this now is wonderful. Just knocked down, very comfortable in hand. It's not grippy like the original. It's smoother, but very nice. And I think you pay for that service from them if you want them to smooth that knife off. They charge. I don't think they charge a lot for it. Yeah, so you can send your knife to Chris Reeves, and they'll put that glass blasted finish on. I believe it's for $50, and then for the life of the knife, if you need them to upgrade it, they'll do it for the life of the knife. Now, since I was here last, I have toyed with this action a little bit. The blade is perfectly centered, and I can thumb flick it and shake it shut, and a spidey flick. Yeah. Now, there's purists that say, oh, it's not supposed to be like that. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. It's my knife, man. I can make it any way I want. Um, yeah, wonderful. Slick, man. And no play. But you gotta, I mean, with a knife like this, you gotta get it perfect. Like I say perfect, but like there's levels of perfect. But you gotta get it tuned just right because you go too far, you get blade rock, and if you tighten it just a hair too tight, then you won't get the drop shut like that. You won't be able to shake it shut. But yeah, this thing's running like a Swiss watch right now. Wonderful. There's also, I think, some talk about you shouldn't use oil on these or whatever. But hey, man, it's not my first titanium knife with bronze washers, and they do just fine. Yep. Yeah, so digging it, man. Very nice knife, and I love the ergonomics on these. The jimping on the spine is combat stuff, man. You put your thumb into that, and it's going to hold right where you put it. Right now, I'm going to call the action on this knife a A. It's got A level action. It's been tuned up. The washers have been polished. I've put a lighter weight oil in them, and this thing runs, man, like a Swiss watch. Now, keep in mind, it's okay for me to do that because I'm not going to put this in my pocket and go in the bush and, I don't know, put this thing to work for a month and expect it to just continue to do that. I mean, I may run it today and then tonight take it apart again. Like I have this bench right here just for that. But golly, is this thing running good right now? Ergonomics, just top shelf, man. the nature of this knife, the fact that it gets a little wider towards the back, just really locks in the Inkosi versus a Sabenza. The grip afforded here, not so confident, confident, very confident. This thing just goes whoop and just slides right on up to the top of the scale. Wonderful. The reverse grip on this knife, yeah, beautiful. And my grip here, my favorite, yeah, buddy, uptight, man. This thing's legit. Yep, works wonderful. The pocket clip, let's run it. Let's check it. Thick material, yeah. That's an industrial knife. Excellent tension on the pocket clip. It's going to retain that where I put it. So when I go looking for it, it's going to be where I want it to be. And my spot in the back pocket, that's exactly where I'd be right there. Very nice. It's almost got like an eagle feather sticking up out of the top of there, right? I like it. Very cool. The screws really lend itself to snatch onto that and pull it out of the pocket. Very cool. What about safety on a Chris Reeve knife? Can you contact the blade anywhere? Yeah, we're safe through the back. And the tip, oh my goodness, look at it. Whoo, it's close. But yeah, I can't touch it. So the tip's good, clip's good, and I can hold this knife any old way I want and not make blade contact. Pretty solid. That S45BN from the factory, how'd we do? Yeah, it's that kind of sharp, man. It's like stupid sharp. Yeah, they do an excellent job. As a matter of fact, so much so, let me show the consistency of that edge. Look at that. From the choil to the tip, super consistent and sharp as a razor. And they'll sharpen your knife for free as well. You just got to ship it over to them. I mean, it is kind of an investment. Like, it's legit. They'll reblast these scales for free. They'll do the blade. They'll put that stonewash back on the blade. For some reason, they recommend only doing that once in the life of the knife. They say it weakens the blade overall. Not sure what that's about. It'd be interesting to have somebody elaborate on how that weakens the knife, tumbling like that. But anyways, man, all in all, these things, very nice. This large Inkosi, I like it. Now for me, I had to tune it. Could you just take the knife and leave it greased and slow roll that out? And, of course you could. And I think many that buy this piece do just that. They're happy with the tension of that action and the way that these function. But you know me, if I took it out and the P word was involved, as in perfect, I'd still take it apart and jack with it. I just can't help myself. Yeah. So, tuned up, ready to go. The Chris Reeves large Inkosi and S45VN titanium. Pretty cool. Appreciate y'all watching this marathon.